Bulgaria. What if the most overlooked country in Europe was also its oldest, wildest, and most surprising? Most travelers pass over Bulgaria, a name barely whispered in the same breath as Italy, France, or Spain. But tucked deep in the Balkans, behind rugged mountain peaks and sun-kissed Black Sea shores, lies a country layered in myth, mystery, and centuries of stories just waiting to be unearthed. This isn't just a place to visit. It's a land to excavate, where cobblestone villages echo with folk songs older than Rome, and ancient burial sites still tremble with superstition. Here, you'll find sacred rituals performed under star-swept skies, medieval towns wrapped in ghost stories, and mountains that have guarded secrets since the Bronze Age. Bulgaria doesn't welcome you with flashy signs or polished perfection. It whispers through mossy ruins, through wine pressed from 6,000-year-old vines, through the hush of forests said to be home to something watching. But what they didn't see coming was this. A country so rich in history it predates empires, yet so untouched it feels like stepping into another realm. Welcome to Bulgaria, where the past isn't gone. It's hiding in plain sight. And today, the Global Trail invites you to dig deeper. A land beyond maps. Where is Bulgaria? Look at a map, and Bulgaria seems simple. A small nation tucked in southeast Europe, embraced by the Balkans and kissed by the Black Sea. But geography rarely tells the full story. This isn't just land. It's a crossroads where nature, myth, and history collide. To the west, the jagged peaks of the Rila and Piran Mountains rise like ancient sentinels, their snow-capped crowns whispering tales older than civilization itself. Here stands Mount Musala, the tallest point in the Balkans, a place where clouds linger as if reluctant to leave such sacred ground. To the east, the Black Sea stretches endlessly, its golden beaches shimmering under the sun. But beneath those inviting waves lie shipwrecks and secrets from centuries of trade, conquest, and forgotten empires. Bulgaria is a country where every season redraws the landscape. Summers ignite the coastline, turning seaside towns into sun-soaked retreats. Winters transform mountain valleys into frozen realms, where skiers glide over paths once traveled by Thracian warriors. But what they didn't see coming is how Bulgaria's borders blur between reality and legend. This land has been a silent witness to migrating tribes, clashing empires, and ancient rituals performed beneath moonlit skies. It's where Europe's oldest gold was buried near Varna, and where medieval villages like Kovacevica remain frozen in time, untouched by modern haste. Bulgaria isn't just defined by lines on a map. It's defined by layers. Layers of stone, of story, of spirit. And if you're brave enough to wander beyond the guidebooks, you'll discover that this small country holds landscapes as vast and mysterious as any on Earth, where traditions whisper louder than time. In Bulgaria, tradition doesn't gather dust, it breathes. This is a land where ancient customs aren't reenacted for tourists. They're lived in quiet villages and moonlit forests, where whispers of the past still shape the present. Wander into the countryside, and you might stumble upon a ritual that feels like a scene from folklore. In some forgotten graveyards, archaeologists have uncovered medieval burials, skeletons pinned down by wooden stakes. Not myth, not legend, reality. Bulgaria, not Romania, holds some of the oldest evidence of vampire lore. A chilling reminder that here, superstition once walked hand in hand with survival. But what they didn't see coming is how these eerie echoes coexist with vibrant, living traditions. Every spring, in the town of Stara Zagora, the Romani Spring Market bursts to life. A kaleidoscope of color, music, in a centuries-old matchmaking tradition where families negotiate futures beneath the open sky. It's not a festival stage for show. It's a celebration of identity, resilience, and heritage. Then there's the quiet power of names. In Bulgaria, when a woman marries, she may choose to adapt her surname, a subtle nod to a lineage that honors both past and present. And beware the head shake. In Bulgaria, shaking your head means yes, and nodding means no. A simple gesture here carries centuries of cultural distinction. This is a country where folklore isn't confined to bedtime stories. It lingers in gestures, in festivals, in the way shadows stretch a little longer over cobblestone streets at dusk. In Bulgaria, time doesn't erase tradition, it deepens it. And if you listen closely, you'll hear the whispers reminding you that not all legends are left behind. Faces of Bulgaria, the people behind the place. In Bulgaria, it's not the towering mountains or ancient ruins that leave the deepest mark. It's the people who walk among them. With roots tracing back to Thracian warriors, nomadic Bulgars, and resilient Romani communities, Bulgarians carry a legacy carved from survival, pride, and quiet strength. These are people shaped by centuries of empire and upheaval. Yet they've never lost their identity. Stroll through a mountain village, and you'll find elders who still sing the haunting folk songs passed down through generations. Melodies that echo like the wind through the Rila peaks. Their voices aren't polished for performance. They're raw, real, and filled with stories of love, loss, and legends. In the bustling streets of Sofia, modern Bulgarians balance smartphones in one hand and tradition in the other. You'll see young entrepreneurs sipping coffee beneath Soviet-era buildings, while nearby, an old woman sells homemade yogurt, a craft perfected over millennia. But what they didn't see coming is the depth of spirit behind every smile. These are people who nod no when they mean yes, who offer strangers a glass of rakia, their fiery brandy, as a gesture of welcome, and who still believe that a sprig of basil by the door wards off misfortune. In Bulgaria, hospitality isn't a courtesy, it's a duty. Guests are treated like family, and stories flow as freely as the local wine. There's a resilience here, born not from wealth or power, but from knowing how to endure and how to celebrate life's simple victories. You'll meet women who carry centuries of tradition in the way they tie a scarf or bake bread, and men who can recite tales of Baba Vanga, the blind mystic, as if they'd spoken to her yesterday. The faces of Bulgaria aren't just witnesses to history, they are its living continuation. Because in this land, to be Bulgarian is not just to remember the past, it's to embody it every single day. A costly secret, the price of living in paradise. When travelers dream of Europe, they picture Parisian cafes, Swiss Alps, or Italian coastlines, and with them, sky-high prices. But tucked away in the Balkans lies a secret most haven't discovered yet. In Bulgaria, paradise doesn't come with a hefty price tag. It comes with a question. How little can you spend and still live richly? Here, a steaming coffee in Sofia costs less than $1. A frosty beer? $2 at most. A cozy apartment in the heart of the capital? You'll pay what others spend on a weekend getaway in Western Europe for an entire month. But what they didn't see coming is that this isn't just cheap living, it's abundant living. In Bulgaria, your wallet breathes easy while you feast on plates of shopska salad, grilled kebabs, and sip world-class wine from ancient vineyards, all without glancing at the bill. Train rides across breathtaking landscapes cost less than your daily commute back home. And yet, beneath this budget-friendly charm lies a deeper truth. Life here moves slower, simpler. Convenience stores don't line every corner, and luxury malls are replaced by bustling markets where vendors know your name. The real price of paradise? Letting go of excess. Bulgaria offers freedom, not just financial, but personal. It's a place where you trade fast-paced consumerism for mornings under chestnut trees, where a conversation over rakia lasts longer than any business meeting. So, would you exchange the noise of modern life for the quiet richness of Bulgaria? Would you trade your life for the simplicity? Hidden wonders, what tourists rarely see. Most travelers leave Bulgaria with memories of sunny beaches or ancient ruins. But those who dare to wander off the beaten path, they discover a different Bulgaria, one that whispers, hides, and surprises. Deep in the earth, past winding forest trails, lies Prohodna Cave, known to locals as God's Eyes. Two perfectly symmetrical holes pierce the ceiling, casting beams of light that watch over the cavern like a celestial gaze. Stand beneath them, and you'll feel it, that eerie sense that nature itself is alive and watching. Further into the Rhodope Mountains, the village of Kovacevica emerges like a forgotten memory. Stone houses cling to the hillsides, their moss-covered roofs blending into the landscape. By day, it's a picture of rustic charm. By night, locals speak of flickering lights in empty windows and whispers carried on the wind. Stories that make you glance over your shoulder as dusk settles in. But what they didn't see coming are the rituals still practiced in shadows, remnants of old beliefs where folklore and reality blur. In these hidden corners, vampire legends aren't tourist tales. They're warnings passed down through generations. And then there's the Rose Valley, where dawn reveals endless fields of dewy petals. While tourists snap photos, few know that this delicate beauty fuels a global trade, with rose oil valued higher than gold. Beneath the perfume lies a history of labor, tradition, and quiet resilience. Bulgaria's true wonders aren't found on postcards. They're carved into caves, whispered through abandoned hamlets, and blooming in valleys where time seems to stand still. Because here, the most unforgettable places aren't marked by signs. They're marked by stories only the land is willing to tell, if you know how to listen. Festivals, flavors, and forgotten stories. In Bulgaria, history isn't locked in museums. It dances in the streets, simmers in the kitchens, and echoes through mountain valleys. As spring awakens the land, so does one of Bulgaria's most vibrant and controversial traditions, the Romani Spring Market. Here, in a swirl of colorful dresses and lively music, families gather not just to celebrate, but to arrange futures. It's a centuries-old matchmaking ritual where love, tradition, and negotiation blend beneath the open sky. To outsiders, it's curious. To the Calderash Romani, it's legacy. Come summer, the Rose Festival paints the town of Kazanlak pink. At dawn, villagers harvest delicate petals by hand, honoring a craft that has scented royal courts and luxury perfumes for centuries. Parades, folk dances, and the crowning of the Rose Queen turn this quiet valley into a celebration of beauty, both natural and cultural. But what they didn't see coming is that Bulgaria's stories are just as rich on the plate. Take a spoonful of Bulgarian yogurt, thick, tangy, and rumored to hold the secret to longevity. This isn't just food. It's a tradition born from Thracian ingenuity, fermented with a unique bacteria found nowhere else on Earth. Pair it with a glass of deep red wine from Melnik, vines planted long before Rome's first vineyards. And you're not just tasting flavors. You're sipping on 6,000 years of history. And as dusk falls over cobbled streets, the haunting melodies of gaita, Bulgarian bagpipes, drift through the air, telling tales of heroes, heartbreak, and legends long past. Folklore isn't reserved for bedtime in Bulgaria. It lives in the rhythm of festivals, in the spices of a simmering stew, and in whispered tales of Baba Yaga lurking deep in the forest. In every bite, a memory. In every song, a warning. In every celebration, a bridge between worlds. Because in Bulgaria, culture isn't something you observe. It's something you feel, taste, and carry with you long after the music fades. The soul of Bulgaria. What makes it truly unique? Some countries impress you with grandeur. Bulgaria? It captivates you with something far deeper, a feeling you can't quite name. Here, the soul of a nation isn't found in skyscrapers or glittering boulevards. It lingers in the morning mist over ancient valleys, in the silent ruins where empires once stood tall, and in the way locals greet you. not with spectacle, but with sincerity. Bulgaria is a land where myths aren't forgotten. They're folded into daily life, where a grandmother's tale of wandering spirits feels as real as the cobblestones beneath your feet, where the past isn't something to study, it's something you live alongside. But what they didn't see coming is how this country embraces both the known and the unknown with grace. It's a place where resilience was born out of centuries of invasions, yet bitterness never took root. Instead, Bulgarians learned the art of endurance, finding joy in a shared meal, pride in preserving traditions, and strength in simplicity. The philosophy here isn't written in books. It's written in the way time slows down when you sip rakia under a chestnut tree, in the way neighbors become family, in the quiet understanding that true wealth isn't measured in possessions, but in stories passed down around table. Even the land reflects this duality. Rugged mountains guarding delicate rose fields, mysterious caves hiding beneath sunny coastlines. Bulgaria thrives in contrasts, balancing light with shadow, history with mystery. And perhaps that's what makes it truly unique. It doesn't try to define itself. It doesn't need to. Bulgaria invites you to wander, to wonder, and to accept that not everything needs explaining. Some places are meant to be felt, not figured out. In a world racing towards modernity, Bulgaria stands still. Not because it's behind, but because it knows the value of staying connected to its roots. This is a country where the soul whispers. Slow down. Listen. The best stories are the ones that never end. Echoes of the land and the journey ahead. Some places you visit and forget. Bulgaria stays with you. Long after you've left its misty mountains, ancient streets, and rose-scented valleys, you'll find its whispers lingering in the stories you tell, in the questions you can't quite answer. If you could wake up anywhere tomorrow, would it be here? Where legends walk beside you, and every shadow hints at a tale untold. Because what they didn't see coming was this. A country that doesn't just show you its history, it invites you to become part of it. Bulgaria isn't loud. It doesn't beg for attention. It waits, knowing that those who truly listen will hear its timeless song. And as the echoes of this land fade, a new whisper calls. Where will the global trail take you next? To forgotten kingdoms? To hidden coasts? To stories the world has overlooked? Type brave in the comments if you're ready to follow where the next mystery leads. Subscribe and let the global trail guide you through more untold stories of our planet. Because what they didn't see coming is where we're headed next. Whispering the untold stories of our planet. Always.